for a recap of the last session, which was a while ago. Alden, you were chilling outside, trying to go to the bed near the shadow room, not right outside of it. But then these three uh, cloaked figures kind of floated by, and you followed them to the shadow room. You looked inside and you did not see them within it, so that was kind of spooky. But then you eventually just fell asleep. You had a nice little dream about, you know, a little kid telling you that he aspires to be a magician like you, and that felt good. And then you, um, I wrote some notes about what you did. Oh yeah, you bought a bunch of ingredients. So you bought some sugar that kind of scared a lady. Uh, you went to Bucking Bronson's, as it's now called. Got some ale there. Got some lemons.
Awesome.
Made some potions. Had Bobo try one of them. He seemed to like it. Made him more sleepy. Woke him up from his slumber, so he was a little bit. Uh, he seemed to like it. He's down for it. And now you have 10 Obot potions. And I believe where we left off is you just visit Ined about and you got those potions from her, and she says to
Yeah,
report back from the results. It's probably like, I don't know, like mid-afternoon, like 1 or 2 or something like that.
sure.
What would you like to do?
Well, I got my potions,
Yes.
and I'm very eager to get these out
Mm-hmm.
and build a demand among the populace. But Bobo doesn't wake up till later.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and in the meantime, I sort of need to figure out, well, if there's going to be people showing up at the shadow room tonight, I've got to kind of, you know, get my environment ready over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think what I'm going to do is celebrate my success so far before I go set up my stuff
Okay.
by perusing um, a bookstore that I heard about.
Mm. On the streets of
And
Ridak.
yeah, and it's
Mm-hmm.
called Lost Lovers Novels.
Oh yeah, also on the
And
lower end.
I am getting through my current smut disguised as a spell book.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's rather dry. I'm looking for
Mm-hmm.
something a little raunchier.
You've had to reread it a few
Um,
times.
it's very boring. Uh, the point where I don't even care. I think it's in fact so vanilla that I don't even really care about reading it in front of other people at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Lost Lovers novels. That sounds pretty promising. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to go over there.
Yeah, you heard that you could maybe get some nice smut there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hell yeah. Then I'll say that you walk your way over to the Lost Lovers novels, and as you approach, let me pull something up. So I got everything. As you approach, there is it is a little bit off of the street, and it's actually connected to uh, kind of a larger building, right? Like I said, not a lot of the buildings within the lower end are very tall, uh, but there's probably like a 5-story building, and then off kind
Oh
of
wow.
a little offshoot to the side of it is this little, like, the building itself is painted this kind of this dull brown color, but then the small little offshoot off of it is this bright red. It's painted bright red, and it
Oh.
in very fancy colors, or very fancy letters. I mean, in this silvery color is painted right above the door. It says "The Lost Lovers Novels," with a little icon of a little kissing some kissing lips right above it. But it's just this small, I mean, not like shack like, it's like, in comparison to this 5-story building, it is quite small. It's probably only 1 story. and you know maybe like 40 by 40 feet. It's it's not the hugest thing in the world, but it is a small little store off the side of this big building.
Um, well, I assume they're open, so I'm just gonna go in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually gonna get my novel out.
Okay.
Um, my current novel,
Okay.
and I kind of want to see if they do trade-ins like GameStop,
Mm-hmm.
and I get some
Mm-hmm.
in-store credits so I can get something else or like trade this for another book.
Hell yeah. Uh,
Uh,
do you have like a cover on your spell book to make it look like a spell book, or is it just a book?
uh, yeah, it's basically just a hardcover, but then there's no pages on the inside, and I just put an actual like novel, like whatever book what I'm reading in at that point. So it's
Gotcha.
kind of like a
Gotcha.
shell. It's a book cover, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Then I'll say that do you just pull out just the book, or do you
Yeah, I
pull
pull out
out what?
just the book, but I keep my
Okay.
I pull out my I keep my cover, you know.
Okay. Gotcha. Sounds good. Then, as you walk in to the store, it is open. The door is open, and as
Hang
you
on, you're
walk,
lagging out.
okay. Am I back?
How you going?
Yep.
I'm gonna
Uh,
reconnect my internet really quickly.
yeah, sure.
Okay, hello, hello.
Howdy. Howdy.
Right, I'm back.
Back in action.
I disconnected and I reconnected. But um, what were you saying before
Yeah.
I lagged out?
As you enter this fine establishment, um, as soon as you open the door, it smells of flowers in here.
Ooh,
You it's a nice pleasant smell. It's not overpowering, I'll say. It's like a nice, oh, it smells like spring in here, especially from this, a little bit chilly fall weather that you've been outside in this whole time. It's a nice pleasant smell. And as you walk in, it is very bookshelf vibes in here. The walls are surrounded in bookshelves with just tons of books, not incredibly organized. Some are horizontal, some are vertical, some are just kind of like leaning over, right? And in the center, there's probably 3 foot tall bookshelves making some aisles, but you can see across the entire building. It's like this 40 foot by 40 foot little entrance. You can see that as you enter, there are some double doors that kind of lead to what you would presume to be whatever this larger building is to the other side of it. But across from you, you see that there is a counter, and you see that there is a woman behind the counter. Uh, she's quite an attractive woman. She has dark skin and a silver straight hair that probably goes to her shoulders. Uh, she is wearing somewhat of a revealing shirt dress, or a revealing shirt, but she is not like being all flaunty about it. And she is looking directly at you as you enter. There are a couple of people in here perusing, but from about 40 feet away, she yells across to you and she says, "Welcome to the Lost Lovers novels."
oh my God.
Hmm. She says, "What can I do
Uh,
for you today?" Just
Say
across the
hello
place. Yeah.
across the place.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not particularly fond of shouting matches. I say hello. I walk over to the counter and I say, I'm looking. Do you guys do trade-ins? I wanted to change the size or something.
I lost the last part. You want to trade in what? Oh,
Holy shit! Whoa,
well,
I'm back.
we're
Well,
back. We're back. We're
damn,
back.
I don't know.
We're fine.
I don't know what's up with my internet tonight.
That's all right.
Uh, the people here, they were expecting 9 p.m. They didn't get the internet ready.
Yeah.
I say I want to do a trade-in. Do you guys do trade-ins? Can I get like some in-store credit or
Hmm.
exchange this book for another?
She says, "Ooh, well, it'll have to be. I'll have to look at the book first to see what the kind of value it is. But yes, we do that.
Oh, perfect, amazing. Sorry I'm not doing the Alden voice.
That's okay.
I had to actually check to see because I know my actual like inventory. It's not. It's just. It's basically just a wizard, like a spell book. That's
Hmm.
what it is. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
have in my actual inventory.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if that would help determine uh, am I level 3? Did I not send my level 3 stuff
Oh,
over?
yeah. I have not done that yet, but I will do
That's
that.
whatever.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
make a note
I'm
of
not
that.
worried about it. Um, and let me just do a quick Google.
Smut novel.
Pathfinder. Well, no, just
Oh,
like
oh
spellbook
God.
Pathfinder 2e. Yeah, spellbook blank. Um, 'cause okay, it's worth 1 gold piece, but do you want to dumb it down since it's technically just porn?
Yeah, it would definitely be worth less. But you
Okay.
you tell me how much you think Alden would have spent on uh his current book.
I'd say it's like a pretty cheap, like, one of those
Hmm.
things that lonely moms read or
Okay.
like frustrated moms read. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like those paperback ones with the
Yes.
Fabio on the cover.
Yes. Yep.
And to me, those are about probably like 8 copper or
Hmm.
7. Like
Yeah.
it's like a $5 equivalent any
Hmm.
bookstore
Yes.
pulp. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my budget.
Okay. Uh, do you show her the book?
Yeah, I do. What do I want the title to be? Because it could be really something really stupid.
Yep. I've
Um,
I've pulled up a list if you don't want to come up with one.
oh no, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks at it and she says, "Ooh, a cave for two. This is uh, quite a popular selection with some of my customers. So I would love to have another copy. May I please see the book?" And she like holds out her hand.
Yes,
Yeah, she
absolutely.
yes.
Just for your reference, hang on. I need to read a note I made.
Okay.
Uh, do you have anything about like old goblin women?
Yeah. uh,
Like like an old goblin like potion master or
hmm.
an old like wearing a witch outfit. Do you have anything that kind of matches that criteria?
she she was beginning to start flip through the book, but now she's like looking at you with these like raised eyebrows, and she says, "Ooh, so," and she kind of looks you up and down. She says, "Well, uh, I see that you are into wizards, perhaps a little bit of magic in your stories. Is this something you would like?"
Well, yeah, romantic magic and literal magic, those both go a long way for me. So,
And she says,
uh,
"Well." She says, "Well, I love a man who knows what he wants because that makes my job a lot easier for me. Are you new to Ridak, may I ask? I haven't seen you around. I think I would recognize that face."
oh, well, I am. I won't. Yes, yes, I'm new to the city, but I'm making, as you'll see, I'm going to be making some great wave soon.
Mm.
Uh, if you have any friends that are interested in learning the spellcraft, come to Aldwarts by the Shadow Room. Little plug there, but uh, yes, I am a wizard. I study the arcane arts, and well, I have some particular tastes right now based on most my recent experiences. But yes, my name is Alden. Alden the Amazing.
Uh, she, uh, she after you saying all of this, and especially mentioning the shadow room, her eyebrows were raised before, but somehow they're even more raised. But she says, "Well, you are such a fascinating character. I really, I've not met someone who just would come into my store with such verboseness, and everyone who comes in here typically." Uh, Likes to be very coy about things, but you have a confidence about you, Alden, that I
Yep, yep.
admire greatly.
I think everyone should be a lot more honest about their kinks and fetishes and private sexual dealings. If I'm being honest.
she
So
she is nodding along. She says, "Yes, yes, Alden. This is the way I
this is
think as
so
well."
weird.
Oh, Alden. But she says, "Well, for a cave for two, as I said, I do have quite many of these copies, so I am willing to give you 5 copper for store credit. But that will,
Oh,
as you peruse, I can tell you that will give you many different options. Now, you did say you are new to town, yes?"
yes, I've only been here for about 2 days now.
She says, "Well, thank you for stopping at my fine establishment, but if you are new to town, if you didn't know that you get 1 free novel uh, at this store for your first time visiting. So, because
No
of that,
shit.
with this trade-in, if you'd like to get 2 novels." But she raises her
Oh,
hand. She raises her hand real quick, and she says, "But before you go and look, uh, I have a way of reading people, and I would like to maybe make a suggestion for you before you start perusing. I think I know a novel that you would love, depending on, or based off your whole demeanor and your certain kinks, as you said. I think I have the perfect suggestion for you."
read ahead. I'm always one for a good magic show.
And she says, "Oh, okay.
Will it cost
Can I?"
me anything?
She says, "No, absolutely. You are
Okay.
new to town. It's something that I like to just hone my skills on. Can you please give me your palm?"
Sure, left or right?
She says, that's a great question. No one really ever has asked me that. Your right hand, please."
Okay, hand up or hand down. I don't want to mess up the trick there.
She says, "Oh, there's no trick. I just need to see your palm. So if you could just
Oh,
hold it for me in front of you."
okay. Here you go. Hold it out.
And uh, she then moves her right hand, and you'll notice her. I'll say that for the first time, you've just been talking with her, but as she starts moving her hand towards yours, you can see that on her right hand index finger is this like a golden thimble, I guess you could put it, right? Like, thimbles are the things that you put on your fingers to
Yeah, yeah,
prevent you from
yeah.
stick. Okay, yes, then yeah, it's like this golden tip that kind of encapsulates the top of her front index, and she goes to start kind of dragging it across your palm. And as she does, the creases in your palm start to glow this slight light blue. And you've probably done some palm readings in the past, and nothing that's looked like this. It's been very,
Oh,
very, not
mundane.
magical, I would say. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
very just actually
I'm
looking at.
taking notes. I'm
But
taking notes. Gets glow in the dark.
yeah,
Paint.
right, exactly. But she is dragging it along, and you don't feel anything, but it is kind of a cool visual appearance. You've never seen your hand like this. And she is staring intently at it. And as she draws back her hand, the glowing is still within your hand for maybe a second or two before it slowly fades away. And she says, "Oh, yes, this, just as I suspected, this one book that I had in mind, I really," and she kind of looks at you with like furrowed brows. She says, "I really think you're going to enjoy it." I'd like you to make a perception check for me.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, roll it.
Rolling.
Oh wait, I think I accidentally added. Yeah.
No,
Oh wait, no,
it
never
says
mind.
in
That
the
was just
chat. You're
a.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that was
fine.
just a 12. All right, never
Yep.
mind.
She is. What I'll tell is you'll. This whole time she's been very, confident and suave, and very, oh yes, I run like a smut store, not very secretive about it. But, uh she looks at you with confusion. I'll say is the best emotion you can kind of put to it. Not like utter confusion. The whole time she's been quite normal about it, but she is, based off of her reading, she is a little confused, but she does still say that she thinks this is the perfect novel for you. And she says, "Well, let me go and get it. How about that? And you peruse around the store if you'd like to find your book, and if you need any help finding uh, that goblin magician potion master book, just please let me know. But you seem to know your way around these things." And she starts
Okay.
to walk away.
Oh, I look at my palm to make sure it's not glowing anymore.
Yes, no more.
Just say, try hard. And then I walk around the store, and is it like if things are sorted by like category?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look for like I don't know if it goes by like species. Then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I can just find anything that like has the keywords grandma and goblin, then we're good.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll say for how disorganized the store looked originally, based off of as you're going around, there's some signs. You can kind of tell that as you get from like left to right from the store, if you're looking at it from the front, as you go from left to right, it kind of goes from more tame to more raunchy. And then as you go, within each aisle, one of these long aisles, it is sectioned by, various uh, various species, maybe some age, right? Like there's some just general categories. And I'll say it's their investigation. I can, I have to switch between 5e and perception, but I
Yeah.
would say, yeah, just perception check.
There's a let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to see as well.
Well, how about this? Do an academia check for me, just
I was
because
gonna
you've
say
you've had experience with libraries and book search and stuff like that.
academia.
I'll say, give me your first academia check, dude.
Academia check. Yeah. That was
Oh,
almost an at 20.
almost. But I'll still say that you are, you quickly clock where all of the, this organization structure, and before she even gets back with her book that she was talking about, you find this section that basically everything you described, not the wizarding part, but yes, an older goblins. And how raunchy are you going for from left to right? Scale to 1 to 10. What are you going for?
My last one was like pretty vanilla, like in
Mm-hmm.
terms of raunchiness,
Yeah.
but it wasn't outright boring. I'd say it
Mm-hmm.
was probably like a 3 or 4, like right in the middle there.
Mm-hmm.
This time I'm going for like I'm going for like a 7 or an 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Like already involving old people. It's kind of
Yep.
out there.
Yeah. True.
But
True.
Alden's a freak, bro. Or at least he's gonna get there.
Yeah. Exactly. This is. Yeah. He's quite excited for it.
Bro's
I'll.
depraved.
I will say you, as you are looking through, I'll say that uh you're perusing, and you do find one that is, as you kind of read the synopses, right? You kind of open up like the front covers and kind of flip through these books as you're
Yeah.
looking through them. I'll say one is more what you're looking for in terms of, maybe it is some wizards uh, that are, the characters in the story. Uh, with yes, there is an older goblin. Some have older goblin men, some have older goblin women, and as you read it, but it's not as raunchy as you would as you're kind of looking for. Like it's just a
Uh,
level or two below it. And then I'll say one
well,
is not. It's more of a secret society. It's not wizards and magic, but it is. You're seeing some of these scenes and some of the descriptors, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is some more raunchy stuff. So I'll say you have a decision between
I have a
more.
decision I can make, and just when you open too many tabs and you have too many Visios to
Mm,
choose from because they all look good, right? Uh,
God.
well, hmm, much can kind of depends on what you want to get out of it. Do you want to just read it and
Mm-hmm.
envision what's happening in the scene there, or do you want to read it and kind of take the guidelines it provides you and then let your imagination run wild with the paint sets you've been given and
Mm-hmm.
make your own canvas rather than just admire somebody else's art?
Alden's
So
just saying this to himself.
I was actually gonna ask, like, are there any? What are the other clients like in the store? It's
Uh,
small, so yeah.
yeah, yeah. I would say that there are two other people in the store. One, you haven't been able to really block what they look like because they're wearing this kind of brown cloak with a hood up, and just throughout this entire time they've been pulling a book off the shelf, flipping through it, putting it back, and just kind of going off. And they're on like the 10 side. They're on the wall with like the raunchiest stuff, and then off to the other side of the store is I'll say a shorter, older gnome who is an older male gnome who is
Yeah.
going through like the tamest of stuff and is kind of just
Uh,
standing there, just kind of reading a book very slowly. Doesn't look like it's like a squatter or whatever it's called when someone like reads
yeah,
books
yeah,
in a
I guess, yeah.
library and doesn't check it out, right? Like or doesn't buy the
Sure.
books, but seems to be taking his time with each book. But yeah, it's just two other
That guy
people in
seems
here.
a little boring and a little regressive. I'm kind of. I have this idea now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna walk over to the cloaked figure and I say, "Excuse me, I just can I ask you something? Can I get your opinion on something?"
And as the figure kind of stops and they uh, kind of look over, and you can kind of see now that you're like kind of to the side of them, I'd imagine, or are you behind them?
I'm like behind them, so I don't see their face.
Okay, then their head kind of turns a little bit, and you hear a pretty female voice come out, and she says, "Well, yes, sure. What do you want?" But she's continuing to look through books. She goes back to what she was doing, but she did respond to
Okay, well, I'm stuck between these two choices here. On one hand, I have kind of the most idyllic scenario I was asking for, which is all the characters are in place, situation is set up.
you.
I find it relatable to who I am and the experience of as I've recently had. On the other hand, not he as I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, I have something that, you know, isn't really in line with the situation I set up in my head,
Mm-hmm.
but has that eroticism.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious, you as a reader, I mean, you're looking through the Thames right now. You're pretty out there. No offense. We each have our own vices, but um, you know, if you were in my shoes, and Lord knows there's a lot of people that want to be, uh, would you choose between? What do you think of this? when you're reading something like this, do you just kind of use it as a set of guidelines for your own fantasies and then let your imagination run wild? As
Mm-hmm.
if, I was comparing it to art just a second ago, where someone, you can either read it and just observe it at someone else's canvas and then just kind of take the picture they provided you and work with that, or you can take the paintbrushes and the pastels that someone hands to you and create your own canvas that matches certain guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What's your opinion? I'm Alden, by the way.
as as you're going through this whole spiel of just explaining your thought processes on art and how in depth you think this cloaked woman slowly turns around, and you can see that uh, as she turns around, it's not you. For instance, Todd's oddities was cat folk, right? As she turns around, you can see it looks like a woman, but she has this kind of short fur across her whole face. So it's not like her face is cat like, it's human like, but what's the best? Like a werewolf kind of thing, but not like,
Okay.
overtly werewolf, just very furry. But she looks around and she looks at you and she says, well, uh, you seem to have quite a few opinions on all this, but she looks over. She's like holding one of the books that she was looking through, and she says, well, I think that it is best to go with the raunchier side, even if it's not quite to your taste, because some of the descriptors I've found uh, are things that I never would have been able to think of, as some of these authors are just masters of their work. And so if I can take the words that they've put down on the page and mold them to whatever fantasy I'm creating in my head, then uh, I think that's a better experience. And she says, so I would
Okay.
choose the raunchier one. And she
Uh,
says, uh, uh, my name is Curia, by the way. And she kind of reaches out her hand for a handshake.
Sure. Sorry, you're lagging out.
That's okay.
Um, Hello.
Hello, I hear you. Do you hear me?
All right, I'm back. Yeah, it's gonna be scuffed.
That's okay.
Um,
Did you hear the reasoning behind her choice?
I heard all of it, and then yeah, I heard she holds her hand out, and that was it. So like right when you finished, I you think the lower and I've just met the dandiest people. Uh, and actually, I'm opening up a school nearby, near the Shadow Room, to teach magic. As you can probably tell, I am a wizard. So if you know anybody who's interested in pursuing spellcraft, send them over to Aldports, near the Shadow Room.
She, uh,
Guarantee they'll,
yeah.
they'll walk away in
Well, the very last part cut out. It said to send them over to Aldwarts.
yeah. Send them over to Aldports. They won't be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then she, as the mention of the shadow room, she, uh, kind of furrows her brows and she said, "Did you say by the shadow room uh, is where Aldwarts is?"
Yes, well, it's a magical reservoir, and I figure, we should learn magic in the shadow of magic, quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
So I set it up over there. I have a question. I walked by there, and certainly it was spooky. And yes, I did see several cloaked figures walk in there the other night. But I don't get what the big deal is. Why is everyone so afraid of it?
Well, she says, well, actually, I know that, yes, most people are afraid of it, but the reason, I, one of my kinks, and she looks at the book that she's holding, and she says, and you look at the cover of the book, and the cover says, "Your mind is not your own," is what it says on the title. And she says, "The kind of books that I am into involve uh, some form of mind control, you see. Either mind control magic or."
I know I just said that Alden's like, yeah, everyone should be open about what they like, and really so weird. Brings this up, I guess it's the environment, right?
Yeah, yeah. She says, mind control
Okay.
things. And she says, well, I think that most people are afraid of it because they don't like their mind to be controlled. But if you didn't know, the Shadow Room is actually those people that you saw walk in are probably cult members for Tengalier, who is the god of. Let me make sure I get the word right. Uh, the god of menticide, which is basically just a fancy word for mind control.
Meant to decide.
Yes. Yeah,
Interesting.
a systematic effort to undermine and destroy a person's values or belief. So that can either be mind control or just manipulation. But uh, is actually the god of menticide. They're probably cult members for that, and well, they are often afraid of it. Other people, but I've actually talked to some of them as I've seen them around, and they seem like quite nice people, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting. Oh, well, yeah, that explains it then. Well, they didn't really seem to pay me any mind, and I hope they don't mind that I've taken the religious place of worship as a new witchcraft school. I'm sure it'll be fine. And actually, if I see one of them, I'll put in the good word. How about that? I have somebody who loves mind control and would love to meet you. Uh, so if you'd like that.
She says, "Oh, that would be wonderful. I haven't seen one in quite a long time, so if you're going to be by there, I would absolutely love that."
Okay, well, I'll let you know if I see you around. I'll let you know. But
Okay.
yeah, stop by if you ever want to learn some magic, and then also this will be the last thing because I think that the owner will be coming back with my book soon. Uh, do you by chance partake in Obot?
She raises her eyebrows and she says, "Obot, no. What is that? I don't know."
Oh, it's. Well, do you drink liquor?
Yes, yeah, I've had some alcohol, yeah.
All right. Well, Obot is well, it's a similar drug, and I just was curious. Uh, you know, uh, Alden's not good at peddling drugs to people, especially if they don't already want them.
Hmm.
Like, how do you sell somebody on a cigarette or weed? You know what? Never mind. It's not the right time or place, and if you don't know about it, then it's never mind. But thank you again for the book recommendation, and nice to meet you. I'm gonna go check this out now.
She says, "Oh, well, it was nice to meet you, Alden, and I hope to see you around."
All right, bye.
All
And then
right.
I walk away. I take the smuttier of the two books, and then I walk back over to the counter,
Awesome.
ignoring the gnome completely. That
Hmm.
dude's probably reading like light romance novels,
Yes.
babbies.
Yeah, this guy is reading novels where it's like,
I know. And then on the flip side, you have the woman who's like, "Yeah, I like mind control," and I like talk
she's
to cultists about it.
Yeah, she's into some crazy stuff, dude.
It's
But
fun.
as you are kind of ending this conversation, as you walk back to the counter, I'll say that the lady at the counter has now walked back, and she's holding a book that is decently thick. It's not a
Dude, I'm
uh,
not getting a word of this. I
oh,
didn't get a word of that.
okay. Am I back now?
Yeah, I don't know for how
Yeah.
long though.
Okay. Well, as you walk back to the counter, uh, the lady at the counter comes back. Did you get that part?
Oh, you're cutting out again.
Okay.
Fuck me.
All right.
Go, 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 go.
Are we good now?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll say that the lady at the counter, she gets back as soon as you are walking up to it, and she says, and she's holding a book that is quite
Okay,
thick.
this is
Yeah.
no, this
Yeah.
it's like as soon as you start talking, it just
Mm.
cuts like to robot.
Mm.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna disconnect the internet for like 30 seconds and then pop back on.
Sounds good.
I'll be back in a bit.
I'll say as you're walking up to the counter, uh, the lady that you were talking to earlier walks up as well, and she's holding a quite a large book. I'll say like not textbook thick, but
Oh my
like
god.
like like one of the last Harry Potter books. You know how like big that was.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah,
Goblet of
yeah.
Fire, that was huge, but like I don't know, like yeah,
Like an
like an
800
inch.
page book.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good length book. Uh,
Jesus. That's a lot of
and
smut.
yeah, and she comes back to you and she says, "Oh, I see that you've chosen something. Would you like to? Can I please see it so I can see if you can just trade in your previous book for it?"
Yeah, it'd be perfect. Here you go.
Yeah, she says, "Oh, exploring the underground. What a great novel.
Oh,
I've read it myself, and I think you'll find the
that's too
descript."
quick.
She said, "I think I think you'll find it the descriptors uh quite exquisite in this one. Quite what's the word I'm looking for? Graphic, maybe. I don't know. But she seems to like your choice that you've made." And then she says, "Well, this is the book that I was discussing earlier that I think you would really enjoy. It is actually a new release. It has come out in probably just the past 100 days or so, and to get my hands on just a few copies was uh, quite difficult. It's mostly sold in other towns, not this one. But I will say that I have been waiting for someone I think that would particularly like it. And based off of my reading
It's
of you,
just like,
yeah,
maybe I get what you're doing here. This is like Ollivanders and Harry Potter, but for
mm-hmm,
porn novels.
yeah, exactly. I mean, she's got a
Oh
way
my
of reading people.
god.
Uh,
Holy shit. Yeah. I got whatever great and powerful wizards,
mm-hmm.
paired smut book is I got his like sister smut
Yes.
book.
Yeah, exactly.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you'll have a smut off at some point. But she looks she says, "Oh, but based off of my reading," and she again kind of furrows her brow for a little bit, but then she goes back to her normal face, and she says, "Well, based off my reading, uh, I think that you're really going to enjoy it quite a bit. I've been waiting to give it to someone who I think would enjoy it. I haven't read through it myself, actually, but uh, I have just a feeling." She kind of pauses for a moment. Uh, that this is just the kind of book that I think you've been looking for. And she kind of puts it down and she says to you, "Well, would you like to trade in your book for exploring the underground? And would you like to use your free book for this one? And she kind of pats on the large book. You notice it has no cover on it or title.
Oh, well, that makes me curious. What's the title of this big one?
And she
Do you know?
says, yes. She says, it is simply called Forbidden Love. It is, not exactly the most, uh, not exactly the most verbose title, but I believe, based off of everything that I get a sense about this book, it's a very apt title.
What's
But
it?
yeah, you go.
What's like in 2 sentences? What's a quick summary? Like, what's a quick plot? Like, what's the plot?
Well, it is written from the perspective of a woman, which is quite rare uh, in these novels, as you know. And it is
Yeah.
actually about a woman who finds a lover while she is in wedlock, and it is the story of this how this uh, woman is trying to explore her feelings about being able uh, having essentially two loves of her life at the same time. And I know that it has a happy ending, but I don't know what that ending is. But I think that you would enjoy this book.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
I'll give it a
Thank you
shot.
for getting it for me, and if it's unique and new, then I'm not gonna say no to a free book. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'll take it. And am I able to trade in my old book for this new one as well?
Yes, yeah. And she said, "Are there any other books that you would like to purchase?"
Uh, no, this will be plenty for now.
Uh,
Um, but I have to thank you. And actually, I mean, I perform magic. However, I haven't seen everything, and I don't know why I thought of it. But when you were doing your palm reading on me, it made me remember that I'd seen something recently I didn't really fully grasp. Do you know anything about like eyes being replaced by miniature moons by chance?
yeah. Let me make a roll real quick.
I haven't really thought about it since then. I thought it was just kind of weird at the time when I saw
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
something reminded me when I saw the blue light from my hand, and also just the magic being used in general.
Hmm. She furrows her brow and she says, "Oh, you mean in a novel? Is this something that you read in a
No,
book
this
or
shit's
something?"
real, man.
She says, "No, I know nothing of eyes being replaced by moons. This is quite. This is not something in my wheelhouse, no, but it does sound quite exotic. I think that if it ever were in a novel, I think it would be quite a fascinating story."
Well, uh, you can use that idea because I've trademarked it, and it was just a test to see if there was any other books out there. So, um, but, yeah, just figured I'd ask.
She kind of
No
laughs a
worries
little
then.
bit and she says, "Oh, well, uh, that was a good test. I don't think there are any books with that. That's a very unique idea."
Yes, it is, and whoever came up with it, very smart. Uh, but no, thank you. Thank you for the books.
She
I'm gonna be
says,
on my way now, but I'll be
"Absolutely. If
sure to
you
come
ever,
back.
yeah, if you ever need any other uh, suggestions, please come on by, and I would be happy to give you another reading if you wanted."
Perfect, will do. Thanks again.
Yes.
And I walk out,
Yes.
and my two books, and I specifically look at the Forbidden Love one
Okay.
because Alden just went from Yeah, man, I'm gonna get a book about granny goblins that's like pretty raunchy too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just about a woman who wants to cheat on her husband,
Mm-hmm.
um, or her fiance, and that's pretty bare bones stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he's wondering why, like, what led her to think it'd be a good fit for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he's just kind of thinking about that while he walks, and I think he's gonna go. Alden's gonna go to the shadow room, make his way over to the shadow room because now it's
Okay.
like what in the afternoon,
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 in
and
the afternoon. Yeah.
I think he's gonna read it like his books a little bit instead of prepping for whatever people come his way to
Okay.
the shadow room,
Mm-hmm.
and then like just kind of read it, goof off while he waits for sundown, and then he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna probably go find Bobo to like talk more about the Obot potion. And while he's walking, I was wondering. I think I rolled previously for it, but I was
Mm-hmm.
curious to see if I could do another roll now that I'm thinking about um, Vita's eye. I don't know
Yeah.
why I thought of that. I do just kind of want to like think about it to myself and see if I know of anything that I learned, like based off what I learned at Academy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I would do an academia check. I think that would be
Would it
best for
be
this.
can I do Academia or Arcana? They're both the same modifier, but I'm just curious to see if you think one is better than the other.
Um, I think like for one of the core skills, I would say like since you're trying to get it off of everything you've studied, I would say it would be academia because
Okay.
this is more for there to be a moon in the eye. I would say that's like more of a nature check. Oh, oh, 26. That's pretty good.
Oh,
I'll
Momo.
oh mama, I'll say that you um hmm, I will say that when you looked at Vita's like moon rock or like moon looking eye, uh, as you're kind of thinking about it, trying to think if that's ever happened in any studies before or that you've seen before. You've known that in previous, as you've read through, maybe some history of Sumia or just of, famous wizards or things like that. Uh, the only thing it reminds you of is you don't know if this applies in this case, but some of the best wizards, you know, always traded a body part, with either a deity or a devil of some sort, right? There's always some visual characteristic of some physical body part that has been replaced for most of the wizards that you've read about, right? That makes it kind of distinct whenever you've learned about them, right? Like someone is, has a different kind of hand, right? Like an infected hand or something, or, for instance, an eyeball has been replaced by something, or just doesn't have an eye, or, has, an entire leg has been replaced by something. Like there's some visual, physical characteristic that has been morphed based off of past experiences by wizards in the past. So I would say that's the only thing it reminds you of. And, it is a possibility that, maybe Vita lost an eye either, through a deal with somebody or, it's also just entirely possible to have kind of a distinctive look. Maybe Vita lost an eye and just has replaced it with like this kind of slightly glowing moon that he found, who knows, but he is also covering it with an eye patch, so it's not
Sure.
something he's like trying to show off. So it is kind of odd. So I would definitely I would say that Vita seems like, a wizard of some kind, knows magic and kind of dresses like it. So you can only imagine that, like other wizards in the past, something has physically been replaced in his body by something.
Okay, interesting. Well, Alden thinks I'm never going to see him again, so I don't really care. But um, remembering that, you can replace a body part in a deal with the devil or deity, all to
Mm-hmm.
be a better wizard, Alden thinks to himself, well, that's something I haven't tried yet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I'm going
Maybe
to
I
make
should
a
cut
mental
off my
note of
own
that one.
hand.
Maybe I should. Oh, the hands are too valuable. How else am I going to do magic tricks? You know what I
Exactly.
don't need is my leg. I don't need a leg.
Your peg leg.
Maybe I should talk to the one. Maybe if one of those cultish fellows comes by the shadow room tonight, I can ask about severing a leg in exchange for some magic.
Yes.
So, all right, rain check.
So dumb.
Um,
I love it.
but yeah, just curious is all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
I,
it is also oddly just shown to you. And
yeah,
I mean, it's true. He also did ask you about it. Like,
yeah. He just whacked me.
so he didn't seem
Mm.
to know about it either. So this has been kind of
I just think,
something
yeah, those
in
guys
the
were
back of
all
your mind.
weird. You had the person that kept using the mirror, and then you had
Yes.
the freak in the woods who just lived
Mm-hmm.
out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had the dude with the moon eye and the piece of paper.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
and
you
that
know.
little girl.
Yeah. Alden was the normal one.
Yeah, very peculiar people.
So odd. Right, then I'll
Uh,
say you head over to the shadow room, and where do you kind of set up? If you remember, the shadow room is like in this big clearing, and it's just this small room in
yeah.
the middle of it. Where do you want to set
Uh,
up?
I'm just gonna set up like in kind of like uh less at the start of the clearing, less at the middle, and more towards the shadow room. Like not like in it, but like a few feet away from it and whatnot.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see what do I got. I'm gonna like I'm gonna scrounge. I assume I have a torch, so I'm gonna like light that and then stick it in the ground.
Okay.
Um, and then I have that piece of chalk, so I'm gonna find a board nearby. Yeah, I'm gonna, the part from like Looney Tunes where Daffy's setting up duck season sign or
Mm-hmm.
rabbit season signs all throughout the woods. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of want to replicate that down one of the alleyways, but just have it say Aldworts all over like these different boards.
Hell yeah.
So since it's lower end, I'm just trying to find like any piece of junk I can write chalk on,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna stick it around saying like Aldworts this way for magic, a grand wizard this way, Aldwort,
Hell yeah. Roll
three
just
magic cards.
roll a performance check just to see how good these signs look, just for fun. Oh,
Train, by the way.
yeah. I will say that you are able to, there's just various, like, it's not the cleanest place in Ridak, so there are various pieces of woods, maybe by all those signposts that have, like, arrows pointing to things. You find some spare, just
Oh yeah.
signs that have kind of fallen off.
Wait. That gives
Yeah,
me a great idea.
yeah.
Okay, after this, can I like go to one of those big maps and then like that are around the city and then in chalk put Aldworts next to the shadow room on
Okay,
it?
okay, okay. I like it. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, there is a sign, uh, like at every intersection, right? If you see on the map, right, like all of these
Sure.
intersections. So you could go to several of them. You could go to some of them. I'd say it's like 6 p.m. by this point.
Okay. People might start showing up soon, so I'm gonna go to the like this. I'm gonna go to this one where my mouse is hovering up here, like
Mm-hmm.
this intersection.
Gotcha.
And then these are pretty big streets, so I'll
Yes.
just
Yeah.
probably do it up there and then go back.
Okay.
I imagine it'll take me a bit to
Okay.
do all that.
And I'll say, yeah, as you go up there again in these like 100, like 200-foot wide streets or something like that. I think it's like 100 or something like that. There is this map in the center of it, and there are people moving around, but no one is right now at the map. And if you remember, the map is like 20 feet by 20 feet tall. And
Oh god, that's in like the top right corner then.
yeah, and it's at the top right corner. But I will say, as you're walking up to it, and you're kind of thinking, okay, it's got to be by the shadow room. As you look up to it, you don't see the shadow room on the map. As you are looking around, the map that you see like in front of you, like in Foundry, is exactly the map that, not exactly, but looks like the map that you see kind of painted on this large canvas. The shadow room label that you did see on like the very first map you walked in on is not there. It's just kind of blank. Where over here,
Oh, that's not good.
just in
How
this
are
general
people
area.
how are people going to find me? It's not listed on the map. That's not good. Okay. I want to take one of the boards I wrote all boards down on.
Okay.
I don't have anything to attach it with. I need to somehow put all boards up there. One, it's great
Mm-hmm.
that the shadow room isn't there, but two, it's bad that nothing's written there. Otherwise, people aren't going to know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta write all boards up on there.
Okay.
Um, and you said it's like 20 by 20 feet. Is there like like stairs or like anything? Because I remember one guy was working on it.
Yeah,
Like when we first came in.
when you first came in, there was a guy like on a ladder, like working on the first map that you and also in the top right. So I would say that there is no ladder around, or there is no stairs. But I will say, in terms of attaching it, there are just around Ridak. You could probably find like nails or like some stake of some kind that you could attach it with, I'd imagine. But in terms of getting up there, there doesn't appear to be any easy way of doing that
Okay,
right now.
I'm more worried about getting up there. I think okay, I have my staff.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm gonna do is attach the chalk to like the end of the staff.
Okay.
And, just use that to like get up there and like say
Mm-hmm.
like all the words. Like I don't know, is that even tall enough? Oh, Alden's like 6 feet tall. That
I would say
staff is
it's tall enough.
probably
Yeah, I'd say it's tall
okay.
enough. It would be right. It would be right there.
Okay, then I'm gonna, as best as I can, write
Mm-hmm.
all the words in that area in like white chalk, so it won't even be that visible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I would say make just a dexterity check.
Sure. Dexterity. Golly. That's acrobatics, right? Or no? That's
Yeah, if you
no,
just
isn't it?
click on your, is there no way of just doing just a dexterity check?
I guess I just do a roll 20 plus 1, but I'm not seeing anything.
Where, like, for instance, where are all your just attributes? I'm just trying to find it now because I'm just. Oh yeah, if you
They're
go to your
under.
very, if you go to character,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you would just have to do it plus one. That's weird that you
Okay.
just can't do it, but yeah, just do 1 plus 1.
Mama, give me a good roll. Oh, that's bad.
Ooh. I'll say that you are able to do it, but the chalk breaks once or twice while you're doing it, and so you get this. Oh, come on. I want to. I also just kind of want to draw it. Or do you want to draw it? I think. Do you have the drawing ability or no? On the left, do you see a little
Uh,
pencil?
uh, I don't think I do. No, but yeah, I was expecting just utter like chicken scratch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, or yep,
There you go.
that's about
So
it.
Yeah, so you write all
Please,
wart.
please leave that on for the other group. That's
I
so
will.
funny.
I will. I will.
That's so funny.
They're gonna be like, what the fuck happened in the last
It's
session?
also funnier that I'm like 2 days ahead of them
I know,
too,
I
like
know.
at this point.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's yeah. It hasn't even been set up yet
Yeah,
for them.
it's
That's so funny.
that's stupid. I love it.
Um, official logo right there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, and then I go like, perfect. Now everyone will know. Uh, and however, I do worry about the other side, like the other intersection. So
Mm-hmm.
and it's getting late. So I'm gonna rush to that
To the
other
other one.
intersection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's a shadow room label, I'm not too pressed because I've already been informing people that they should go there. But I don't know. Also, free advertising is good. So
Yeah. I'd say it's like a little bit after 6. So yeah, I would say this one also doesn't have a shadow room on it.
oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing. Take my chalk, write down all the words.
Okay. Okay.
Is there another
Oh.
check I should do?
Yeah. Do another dexterity check just to see if this one's any better.
All right. Mama, please.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I got the
You,
hang of it.
you got
Yeah.
in the hang of it exactly. You got a little bit better at it, and it looks more like block letters, kind of like all the other
Nice.
labels. Still doesn't look quite as
Nice.
good as the other ones, but it looks good.
Yeah. Nice. Perfect.
Nice.
All right. That's great.
Awesome.
Um.
And some
All right,
people
then
do give
I'm
you
gonna.
some looks as you're doing it, but no one seems to pay too much mind.
It's fine. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. Now they know. Now they know who Alden is. That must
Yeah.
be Alden from Aldworts. He
This
has his own
weird
school. Must be
wizard.
good.
This weird wizard
Yeah.
just.
They seem public property.
Yeah.
Um. You know. So now I'm gonna head back to the shadow room then,
Okay.
and just have my torch set up, and just kind of start like sitting there, and just kind of reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna wait like until I feel like it's until like a little bit later into the night when I know Boba's gonna be awake. No one's showed up yet. I'm gonna go hunt him down and basically be like, here, hand out these 10
Okay.
potions for like
I
a
would.
little bit of an increased fee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From the last session, you did tell Amelia to come by Aldworts
Oh shit, you're
tonight,
right.
and then Bobo said he would be back by 10, or he would be around by 10. So I think they're coming to you for sure.
Okay, all right, then I'll just wait.
Yeah. So you're. Yeah, I don't think you need to go anywhere. But what does Aldworts look like besides the torch in the ground? Do you have like a blanket or anything? Is there a?
Yeah, I mean, I just have my basic explorer's pack, and
Mm-hmm.
on one of those signs I made, I'm just
Yep.
gonna have that placed next to me, so like with a, and I'll also have a board that says Professor Alden
Mm-hmm.
next to me, so I know it's me.
Yeah.
And then in front of me, yeah, I'll have my bedroll set up,
Okay.
uh, and then I'll have like those the sets of playing cards laid out in front of me, like
Mm.
in 9 neat little piles.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
And yeah, I just have my torch stuck in the ground and it's lit.
Mm-hmm. Then I would
Sitting
say,
there.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm here. Do you hear me?
No, I'm just sitting there and yeah.
Oh, sitting there. Okay, I thought you said, "Are you there?" Okay, then yeah, you're just sitting there. I would say that you wait about. You're there reading. Which book do you read first?
I'm gonna start with the book that I got my palm read for. I got a long
Okay.
way to go there.
Yeah. Uh, I'll say, as you start reading this book, most of the smut books that you've read are very just, the plot is very either contrived and it kind of skips past it, right? Kind of goes through it to get to the good stuff. But you can tell one by the size of this book, it would be a crazy long story if it was just all smut, right? So as you're reading it, you are kind of expecting to,
Yeah.
uh, have there's going to be more plot to it, but it was, suggested to you by this palm reading lady, so you're willing to give it a go. But I'll say roll a, uh, yeah, I think roll an academia check, but this isn't for like research. It's just for based off of all of the books that you've read. You know.
That's a studious point.
Mm-hmm.
Three. Yeah, 10.
30, 10. I'll say that you. Let me switch to this mic. I'll say that of all of the books that you've read, a lot have been very dry, right? Because they've been mostly history or research books, and so you've kind of gone to these other books to get away from that. This book is unlike any other book that you've read before in that it is from a person point of view, and as the lady said, it is written from the woman's perspective, right? And as you are reading it, it is as if you can almost hear the the voice of the woman as she's like narrating her thoughts or what she does, right? You know how books have like a certain voice to them, right? And like or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
writing. It is so well written that it is like it is as if you could hear it, right? You can hear what this woman is writing like. So you're enthralled just by that fact, right? By it is just a very well written book, which uh you haven't experienced much of because you've either been on one side of the spectrum where it's just they're so dry that there's like
Yeah.
research voice to it, and on the other end there's like no voice to it because it's just description. So on
It's
this
just
end,
straight. Yeah.
this is just a good book, just period. But also, the it starts off, it's about, you know, it essentially the story starts of how she meets her current fiance, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of details that out. And you're reading for probably about an hour. And how fast of a reader would you say Alden is, especially with his experience? Probably
Uh, I mean,
quite
he's
a
been
good.
in school for a while there. I'd say he's an average, like averagely, maybe a little bit above average paced reader.
Okay,
Just,
then yeah, then I will say that uh, the amount of the book that you get through, I'll say you get through like within an hour, like a good 16th of the book, or like a 15th of the book. I'm trying to think like let's just make it 5% just to have it be like you could get 5% in an hour just to put some value to it, whatever. But
5% smut loaded.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it is, yeah, it is, you know, there are some, fantastic descriptions of, the dynamic that she has with this fiance, right? And throughout the whole book, no names are ever said, which you kind of find odd, right? It is only, from her perspective, and then it is only ever talking about, you know, what she describes as just this man, or the man, right? It's very oddly written in this way, is that there are no known names associated with it. But it is very good. I'll say that you are enthralled with it just based off of
Yeah.
the writing alone, but it's a good mix of both plot
Damn.
uh, and
Damn.
raunchiness that
Damn. It's a
you,
good recommendation.
yeah. Damn.
Alden's confused though. He's not sure whether or not he should project himself as the woman or the man she keeps
Mhm.
mentioning. So he's kind of like unsure of himself in the
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
an enthralling book so far.
All right, great. Imagine walking in on your teacher just reading 50 Shades of Grey in like math class.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very
Well,
unique situation.
yeah, well, speaking of, as you're kind of sitting there, you the sun is not setting yet. It's probably like 7:30, right? So, well, yeah, I guess the sun is set by then. It's fall. But anyway, it's getting dark outside, and you're kind of reading by the torchlight that you've lit. And you see someone walking in from the distance, and you recognize the blue cloak of Amelia. And she comes over, and she says, "Alden, uh, I had," or she calls out to you, and she says, "Alden, is that you?"
Yes, yes. Come
She,
hither.
she is walking forward, and you can see that she's kind of glancing at the shadow room. And she says, "Is this where setup is, and where you'll be doing all the lessons and everything?"
Indeed. Don't be
Yes.
nervous. I have the shadow room under my control.
uh, she, she, she. I'll say that since the Shadow Room's not doing anything, she is still very hesitant. But I'll say you could tell she kind of believes you and is a little bit calmed by that fact, whatever that means. She, had no concept of what it was before, so the fact that it is needs to be controlled is a little unsettling. But she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's good, but I'm going to just sit a little bit, away from it a little bit, but I'll still be right here. But I just want to stand by it. But you said for me to come back to do some more training. Is is that what we're planning on doing?"
Indeed. We're waiting for my associate to come by. It won't be much longer now. When he arrives with a new clientele, that's when we will begin training once more. However, I'd be inclined to review some notes with you and some tricks in the meantime, just to warm you up.
She says, "Oh, are there going to be other students? Am I going to get to meet them?"
This is the hope.
She says,
Also,
"Yeah,
like the
okay."
what I'm doing, what Alden's doing right now is sitting like crisscross, and
Mm-hmm.
he's not even like looking at her. He's just got his hat on, so like you can't see. Like his eyes are like it's like
Yeah,
shadow
Indiana
all over his
Jones. Yeah,
head.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like,
just kind of like he's just sitting there looking straight ahead.
yeah.
Because you don't know it, but underneath like all that, like you know,
Hmm.
projection, he is sweating fucking bullets right now. Because he's kind of worried because he's kind of realized like how in deep he's gotten into this,
Mm-hmm,
but he's
mm-hmm.
also like still confident in himself. But on
Yes.
the whole, he's just kind of like, oh my god. All right, well I hope too many people don't show up, but
Mm-hmm.
yes. Um. Anyway, yeah.
She says, "Oh well, that that is so exciting that I'll get to be part of the first class. But yes, since I was your first student, I would love to go through a couple of the tricks that we've gone through, and I would also like to show you something." And uh, she kind of ruffles around in her bag, and you can hear some coins jangling in there, which is always nice. And
Mhm.
she pulls out this very very large black hat, black like a witch's hat. It's quite pointy, and she puts it on, and like the rim is like I'm trying to think what is her name in Dark Souls 3. The that
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
like yeah the big
Carla, I think her name
witch,
is.
yeah, exactly, the big witch hat. That is very much it's kind of droopy in the front, and she has to put it kind of at
Sure,
an
sure.
angle on the back of her head, so you can still see her face, but it's like this huge brimmed, really tall, pointy hat. And she says, "Look at what
I purchased for the persona that we're going for, right? Remember, the uh, what you recommended was for me to dress
Yes.
up,
And like,
and
you look
and this is my
fantastic.
persona. Yes,
Alden
thank you.
thinks to himself, she looks ridiculous with that big pointy hat. Who would wear something stupid? Oh,
Mhm.
shit. Uh, I need to reassess. Um, and Alden, I was just about to ask that. I said, don't forget what we discussed. It's not just the cards, it's you,
Mhm.
the performer. And
She's
this has is the perfect first step.
yes, she is. Yes, she
What if
is not nodding along, and the hat's kind of flopping a little bit as she's nodding along.
I'm perfect. What if she gave herself a name like at the end of the it was like Amelia the Awesome or something.
Yeah, I think Amelia the Awesome, but if
Okay.
yeah, we'll go with that for right now.
That's fine. That's
Yep.
good. God, I can't believe I remembered Carla. I like never spoke to her in Dark Souls 3. But yeah, good inspiration.
Yep.
I say, well, take a seat. Let's see how far you've progressed, where you're
Mhm.
taking your new persona
Yes, and she says,
with you.
"Yes, that's exactly what I want to practice is more of my showmanship." Um, yeah, I'll say I'm trying to, you know, just like mechanically, what do you think uh, in terms of the roles for how the performance is? Because there's the games check for the cards, but should that be included in that, or
Mm.
do you think it should be performance? Wouldn't be diplomacy.
What if it's like a mix of both, and she does it like I don't know, 2 or 3 times each, and there's a certain DC, and if she doesn't do great in like one area, then we could be like, well, your card tricks are great, but you need to work on your performance,
Yes,
or your performance is great, but you need to work on your card tricks.
yes,
And kind of like narrow it down, or if like overall you could use improvement. I mean, it doesn't even really need to be like a 3 time thing. It could probably just be once because it's like a whole like show.
hmm
And if she wants to try it again, then like the DC could go higher.
yes, yeah, exactly. I agree with that. And I think doing one roll for games and one roll for performance is good for
Yeah, I mean,
kind of.
because then one could like supplement the other, where it's like, well, you did really poor in performance, but your card trick was so good that like I barely even noticed. However,
Yes,
like
yeah, I agree.
you still need to improve there. So,
I
and
agree
then from
that.
there they could do like I think there's training or something of the other like for stats in this game.
hmm hmm
Like like I remember in D&D it was animal handling I was training in, so it could be something along the lines of like that, where it's like if you spend this much time in a week working on this, you can improve your what a bonus to blank for
Yes,
whatever
yeah.
when doing
I'll
something specific.
yeah, right now she is untrained uh, in both performance and games right now. Like that's her stats right now. So I'll say with training she can become trained, so she can like add a proficiency bonus to uh, those roles. And
All right,
so
yeah, sounds perfect.
yeah, so that won't happen just yet, but you know, over some amount of time, uh, those can be the rules that we determine. But I'll say she goes about and she is like, so should I uh, do some card tricks for you, and you tell me what you think.
Yes, proceed.
Proceed. All right. Okay. Uh, she uh she in terms of her card tricks, it's pretty good. It's not as good as when you did it, obviously.
Right.
But she has obviously improved uh since the last time you've seen her perform any tricks, which was I think the first time that you met her. I don't think it was any time before that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No worries about the vacuum cleaner. It's all good.
Yeah. Going to stand in the distance, but still keep talking.
All right.
Uh,
Bye.
yes. Yeah. But she performs well in terms of her card tricks. It's obvious that she has improved her skills, but her performance, like in terms of her persona, uh, she looks like she's just kind of trying to copy you. Like she makes her voice like a little bit deeper and is like, tries to like talk the way you do, and is like,
Sure,
yes, this is
sure.
exactly,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
does not. It's one, to Alden, not unique, right? It's like, come on, you know,
yeah.
it's not unique. Be
You
your
dress
own
as like
person.
a generic wizard, yeah.
Gotta
Like
be
it's about as
unique.
like basic as you can get.
Yeah, and not unique, but also just in terms of, imitation is the highest form of flattery, but it's just not a good imitation. So
Sure,
she
sure.
she does not do well in her persona, and the main reason is because she's not doing her own thing.
Okay. Should we just do like a system? Like, do you want to create a system for feedback almost, or do you want to keep it simple and just like basic role playing?
I would say basic role playing for feedback. I think that
Yeah, the
uh,
game is just kind of like how well you do
yep.
there. Okay. Well, I observe her performance,
Mhm.
and I go, Amelia, you've come a long way in a few days in terms of your
Mhm.
card trick. I'm quite impressed. And Alvin thinks to himself, holy shit, it took me years to master that. Who is this person? Uh,
yeah.
that was a Sims moment. What the hell was that?
That's,
Uh,
yeah. Oh.
okay, we should beat that. And then however, I know it's only been a few hours, so I'm not going to be harsh, but just some early advice for your performance.
Mhm.
Uh, be distinct.
Says
Be
be.
different. Don't do what I do. You know, this isn't an act, by the way. This is just me. Uh, but if everyone was trying to be amazing, and if everyone was amazing, then no one would be. To quote something.
Quote some.
And just again, it's only your first night, and I love the enthusiasm. I love the
Mhm.
hat.
Mhm.
Just think a bit more about your persona. Besides Alden, who inspires you? What type of magician do you want to be? Uh, what type of attitude do you want to project?
Mhm.
How Think about how it's going to influence the way people view your tricks.
Mhm.
That's what makes you stand out. That's how unique you are. So just think about it, all right? Just give
Mhm.
it some more thought, and we can workshop it later, and go through it. And
Mhm.
uh, it's going to be tough. It won't be easy. How do you stand out from a crowd?
Mhm.
That's difficult, but just that's kind of what I am advising you to do.
Mhm. I like it. Roll a society check, but give it a +2
Plus
your uh,
two.
for your good real life role playing advice.
I
Uh,
might use a hero point for that.
okay.
Well, it's a 13. I'm gonna see where I can go. She likes me. I think it'll be okay. I'm
Well,
gonna
it would
succeed.
also be +2, right? So it's 15.
Oh, that was what. Oh, I guess I didn't take it
Yeah,
into account.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
All
it
right then.
doesn't look
Well,
like it did, but yeah, 15.
yeah.
All she is, at first her, with you saying like, you know, her, performance, uh, wasn't distinct. At first she looked a little hurt, But as you know, are explaining more about, what inspires you, and this is, you need to make your own, make it your own, right? She is, started nodding along and looks a little bit more motivated. And she says, "Yes, I could definitely do that. You're right. I was kind of trying to copy you, but I think that if I do my own thing, then maybe maybe it'll be even easier because I will say it is hard to play like somebody else, but I just need to be me."
Authentic to you, exactly. And I don't want you to be dejected. I don't want to say it was bad. Uh, Lord knows how hurt I was getting shit on in my acts and performances back in the day. So I don't want to just outright stomp you into oblivion and say that was terrible. What are you? You're nothing. That was really quite pathetic. I don't want to say anything like that because it's just cruel and
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary.
Mm.
I want to give you constructive criticism. That's what this is. Constructive. It's supposed to build a foundation for you to skyrocket. So
And she says, "Thank you, Alden. That's quite nice of you." Uh, and
yes.
and I'll say this is taken probably a good like 30 minutes or an hour, and uh, through talking. Is there anything that you want to talk to Amelia about? I'll say that you probably have like 30 minutes or so before Bobo shows up.
Almost shows up.
Hmm.
Um. hmm, I'm yeah. Maybe just about Amelia in general. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm not too interested in her. I am. More interested about the general plot. Okay, I have a few questions for her.
Hmm.
Amelia, I have a question for you. How long have you lived in Ridak? How long have you been here?
She says, "Oh, I've been here my whole life. I grew up originally in central Ridak, but my family did not care for me too much, so I was kind of pushed out to live on my own in the lower end. Nothing aggressive, but it was a mutual leaving."
Hey. Well, I can find relation in that. My parents were ashamed that they weren't as good as me in magic and wanted to distance themselves from me. Uh, but I'm sorry to hear that. I know how it goes. Uh, what were you doing before this? For magic?
Before magic, uh, I I once was, I would work at various taverns, but I'm not exactly uh, I would always try and do too much, and I would get burnt out, or I would break things, and for some reason, I always ended up on the outskirts, and I guess that's just how or that's how life is sometimes. You don't.
Oh, God, this poor woman. Oh, I feel so bad. Oh.
but but things are on the upswing, and I've learned some great card tricks, and I think that just with the money that I've made in the past couple of days, I can see this going for a long time because there's lots of schools around here, and I can learn even more tricks with you, and I can become a real performer here. Really find my own.
I'm glad to hear. I'm glad things are going a little bit better for you.
Hmm.
And I'm certain that once the new students arrive, they'll see you and they'll think you're amazing, awesome, and you'll have your own fans soon. But I have another question. I Alex, myself, forgot what it is. but it was going somewhere. It was, how long have you been in Ridak? Oh yeah. How long have the Tents of Luck been here?
Uh, she says, "Oh, they've been here probably since nearly the beginning of Ridak. They the northern docks were one of the first places built in Ridak, I'm pretty sure, and ever since the northern docks were built, the Tents of Luck were there. I think they've gotten a little bit bigger as time has gone on. They're much more of a big thing, but in terms of how long they've been there, it's had to have been, you know, tens of thousands of days minimum."
So the I thought you were gonna say years there. I was like, holy shit.
No.
Um, so you'd say the established, well liked by the city then? Is it more of a tourist attraction, or is it
Mm,
kind of like, oh yeah, you have to go to the Tents of Luck?
mm, mm-hmm.
So good.
Well, I just rolled something to see if she was knowledgeable at anything, and I rolled a natural 20, so we love that. She.
My God, my God.
I'll say that she says, "Oh well, no, actually uh, yeah, it's kind of a tourist attraction in the town, I'd say. It's like the Burst in that way. People say to go there, but I have heard rumors around that the Reaver Council is not very fond of the Tents of Luck, at least whoever runs it. It seems to be that I know that they've tried to get rid of the Tents of Luck multiple times, but they were never able to be successful. It, I'm not sure,
Oh.
I'm not sure if they were too popular with the people and it was voted down. I don't quite remember, but I have heard rumors in terms of does everybody like them. Uh, I think maybe the people like the Tents of Luck because it's a fun place, but I have heard rumors that the Reaver Council does not like the Tents of Luck.
Alden made that exact laugh all when she said that. Um, the Riva Council. Interesting. I'm not familiar. I'm still new to this town, but
Oh,
who are they?
she says, "Oh, you're right. Sorry about that. The Reaver Council is like the government here. They run the city or they run the town. Excuse me. It's 9 people, and they some people are for the different sectors of Ridak. Like, and she kind of looks and is like thinking for a second. She says, yes, I think it's someone named Soma Drog is in charge of the lower end, and various people control the various parts of Ridak and make decisions for it. And so because of that, they run the town. So for some reason, they make the decisions around here, and for some reason they haven't been able to get rid of the Tents of Luck. I'm not entirely sure why though."
Interesting. Is there any way I can contact this Selma Drog? Pick
Uh,
her brain.
she says, "Oh yes, every day there are a couple hours in the afternoon where you're able to visit the Reaver Council and just as uh, people of the city and talk to them about any concerns that you have. I've never done it personally, but I know that it's a thing that they offer. So if you wanted to talk with her, I'm sure you could uh, just visit there and talk with them."
I put my fingertips together like a villain. And I go, interesting. I may just have to do that tomorrow. You've given me some great information, Amelia. This is
She's,
wonderful. Here, when my associate Bobo arrives here, I may just have something for you.
she says, "Oh, well, of course, yeah. If you have any questions, I may not know everything, but I have lived here my whole life, so I know some things."
Yes. The Tense of Luck I'm considering to be a rival of Aldworth's. I paid them a visit myself, and I was truly displeased with what I saw there. Amateur card acts all lined up next to one another, making a mockery of the fine arts. It was
She.
very disappointing, and
Mhm.
and I actually spoke with the owner, what I thought to be the owner, was personally offended by that mongrel, so I may just have to lodge a complaint with the council about the Tense of Luck.
She says, she is nodding her head and she kind of agrees with you. She says, "Yeah, you're right. They don't have any personality there. It's all just the same things there. But here at Aldworth's, we're gonna have our own characters, and it's gonna be about the performance, not just about the tricks like it is there." And she seems to be like fully on your side.
You're so right, Amelia, you're so right. Another piece to the puzzle that I'm trying to solve.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to meditate on this piece of information.
I'll say, as the conversation kind of dies down, or you continue talking, I'll say that you see uh, three figures start to slowly walk, and it is now kind of darker out, so there is some moonlight above. It's a clear night tonight, so you can kind of see in the distance walking towards the clearing that y'all are in, kind of with a little bit of light on them from the torch. You can see three figures approaching, and one of them is kind of larger that you suspect to be Bobo. And you, as they walk closer, do you say anything as they're walking closer, or do you just get a good
I'm
look at
more.
them?
They didn't announce themselves, so I'm
Mm,
just gonna look up and visually confirm that it's them.
yes, yeah. I'll say that you, as you're walking up, you see Bobo, and you see Ryland, the very first guy that introduced you to Bobo, and then I'll say that you see a pretty young woman, like I'll say like maybe early 20s, but looks she is wearing a cloak and is kind of you know like that's if it was really cold outside, but it's not that cold outside, so it's like she's kind of uh what's the word I'm trying to look for, like not shriveled up, that's an over
Just
description.
bundled.
Yeah, just bundled up. That's the word. Good word. Bundled up with a big cloak around her, and you can see her face is a little bit sunken in. Like it doesn't look to be that healthy of a face. But you see these three approach you. And do you say anything, or do you let them say the first thing?
Bobo, my friend. Oh,
Yep.
welcome to Aldworth's. Ryland, I see you've come too. And who is this? A new student?
Uh, Bobo looks over and he says, "Oh, this is Jen." Or no, that's not how he talks. Oh, this
Yeah.
is this is Jen. Jen, introduce yourself. And Jen kind of looks up and is still kind of looking like she's shivering. And she says, "Oh, hi, Alden. I'm Jen. I'm looking to learn some magic, and uh, I'm hoping to learn some tricks. That's what Bobo said, that you are able to teach tricks."
Yes. More than able to. Oh, this is my first student, Amelia, and she's come a long way in the past 2 days. I'm eager to, I'm eager to have a new student under my wing.
Yeah,
Are
you
you,
see it.
tell
Yeah,
me,
you
are
see,
you cold? Come take a seat by the torch.
she says, "Oh yes, I am a little chilly. Thank you for that. I'll come and yes, I'll come and sit by the flame." And she kind of scurries over and sits next to the
Alright.
torch, but Bobo and Ryland are still just standing there. And Amelia
Okay.
kind of introduces herself. But what do you say?
Alright. I say, Ryland, feel free to take a seat as well. I have to have a conversation with Bobo. Amelia, introduce the students to the course, and Ryland already has a pack of playing cards, but why don't you hand one over to Miss Jen there, get her introduced? Um, and so I'm gonna leave her doing that.
Yeah,
And then I'm gonna
Amelia
pull
says
Bobo
sure.
aside and I say,
But yeah,
all right.
talk to,
I
yep.
pull Bobo aside and say, I've got more of our product that we discussed today. I've produced 10 bottles, and I'm more than happy to transfer them to your possession, get them distributed among the populace. Tell me, did anyone else express interest in joining All Wars besides Jen? Was it just
He said, well, yeah, the only reason why Jen is here is some probably only around 2 or 3 people actually came by my my spot today in order to get more OBOT, and so I mentioned it to them, and Jen was interested, and Ryland was interested as well, but 2 of the others weren't interested, but that's okay. I have much larger clientele list. I remember you asked for me to give you a list of all of my clientele members. Would you like that?
absolutely, absolutely. And don't worry, I'm sure you'll get far more consistent. What's the word? Not attendance, patronage, but
uh, yeah.
uh, I don't know. A
Yeah,
far more
what?
consistent base
What
of
is?
customers than
Yeah.
what you currently have now. Once you start giving them the, and I pull out whatever the potions are stored
Mm-hmm.
in, and
Yes,
I
the little
say,
vials. Yeah.
fairly cheap to make. I know how to make them. I know where to make them. Haven't really figured a price yet, but I'll tell you the ingredients. It's a mix of, well, it's quite simple, really. Lemon juice, sugar, alcohol, and this is my secret ingredient. Obot smoke, liquefied
Mm,
smoke. As you've had it this morning, I'm sure you could see that the side effects can be quite potent, depending on the individual's, you know, what's the word? Susceptibility to Obot.
mm-hmm.
And I describe it as candy. That's the really addictive property there, is the sugar.
Mm.
So
Yeah, he's
once you
kind of.
get people hooked on these, then you'll have a much, more robust clientele coming back for more. And tell them you can only get these at 2 places: Bobo's and Aldworth's. Oh,
He said,
actually, wait, I take that back. Tell them you can only get them from Bobo's, but if they need more money to buy them, tell them to come to Aldworth's. There we go.
he's
If you want to know how to make money, coin,
yes,
come to Aldworth's. So,
he's kind of nodding along with you, and he says, "Oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. I'll I'll
yeah,
I'll
whatever
take
you
the
say, man.
yeah, I'll take these vials. I will say, maybe it's placebo, but I did sleep a little bit better after having some of the drinks, so I'll I can swear by the effects as well. I'll have to try some myself, but obviously these are just for the clients.
Alden goes, indeed, looking down at him like this, indeed. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
I love it.
Uh,
Well,
I'm sure you'll find much success. Um, but uh,
yeah, Bobo's a little weirded out, but he says, but anyway, here's my list of uh, here's my list of clientele, and he hands it to you. And you now have a list, I'll send it to you later, but you have a list of what looks to
sure.
be about 13 or 14 names. You see Ryland on there, you see Jen on there, but you see some other names that you haven't heard of.
Perfect.
And this appears to be the people that he regularly interacts with.
Yeah, Good, good. Oh, well, it's a very good start. Very excited to begin. I'm sure Jen will make a bright pupil. Same with Ryland. I'll have to thank him for introducing us. But I'm very curious to see how those sound. I'm very eager
Mm-hmm.
to get started.
He
And
says,
from what I hear from my student Amelia, we may be able to get rid of the Tense of Luck sooner than we thought. As if he's in on this plan.
Yeah,
As if he
exactly.
cares.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He said he's not alone. Oh, well, that would be great. Yes, and then we can sell more of this, right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Once this floats its way into the Tense of Luck's employees, sphere of influence, they will fall like dominoes, my friend, and you will thrive under a mountain of gold supplied by hungry and thirsty clientele, eager, nipping at the bud for what you have in your hands there.
he he's nodding along and he says, "Oh, yes. Well, I have to go and get back to my spot in case more people come by, but I will certainly tell them about Aldworts, and if they need more money, I'm sure that there's.
Yes,
You seem to have quite the." And he kind of glances over at your little area. You seem to have quite the setup going here.
indeed. Tell them that I notice on a few of the maps in the city that the Shadow Room wasn't listed as a location, which I found concerning because I'm worried people won't be able to find their way. Did the signs at the end of the alleyway help?
He said, I did notice the signs. Yeah. It, they. At first I was looking more for the Shadow Room signs, but then I saw your sign, so I'll say, yeah, I think if I told them about Aldworts and the general directions of where it is, all the way in the northeast of Ridak, I think they would be able to find it.
Wonderful. Tell them that they can find on the maps at the end of either side of the street at those big intersections that on the map Aldworth is listed.
he's, he's,
Sanctioned by the government, so it's up there forever.
it is. Roll, roll a deception check just to see if he believes you.
I think I have like a +0 to that, so that's really funny.
just to see.
Sure. Deception, yeah, untrained. This might be where I use my hero point because I might go after this, but
Okay.
it's late.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll take
Mm,
that.
you'll take that. He says, he raises his eyebrows and he says, "Oh, well, okay, yeah, sure, I'll tell them about the maps. I'll have to go and check it out. I didn't realize this was," and he kind of glances over again at it. I didn't realize this was an official sanctioned by the council,
Well,
but that's
well,
that's cool.
yes, it will. It is, or at least it will be soon. Probably
Yes.
tomorrow. Depends on how it goes. But I
Yeah,
wouldn't worry about it.
yeah. He says, "Okay, well, I will. I'll get going and uh, visit at some point and let me know how it goes."
Yes. Vice versa. I want to see how those bad boys sell. I'm very confident. And then I'm just gonna basically leave it at that, being like, all right, I'll be on my way now.
Okay.
And as I turn around, I'm going to go, students, welcome to Aldfort School of Magics and card tricks. Shall we begin? And then I'm good to leave it there because it is
Mhm.
late for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
as I walk towards them.
Mhm. I love it.
But yeah.
All right. That's where we can
Oh,
end the
good.
session. So stupid.
Yeah.
I love it.